This video covers the CG-1500 enclosure tips and tricks. Now, this enclosure has been used by the holiday lighting community for years, mainly because it is cheap, really cheap, durable, cheap, and it's adaptable and does often fit the items that we need, which are typically 350 watt power supplies, and has the appropriate mounting locations. Did I mention it's cheap? So, in this, you may have some things that you're not aware of. First is this lid. This lid pops off quite easily. Just grab it, pull it off at an angle, and it'll pop right off. Now, this is great if you're trying to stack them. You can stack them like this, so that if you're working on them or assembling them, you can put them like this. Now, sometimes that means that these little hinges won't hold on very well. So you may end up where it's a little too loose. Now those are tight, but if they're too loose, just take some pliers and just push down here and then tighten these up a little bit. And then just put it right here, hit it, and it goes right on. A few other tips. There are mounting holes over here, and you can mount something in the door. We do at Holiday Coros sell a mounting kit that allows you to mount to the door of a CG-1500. Now, in the base, how you mount it to something. Now, you'll see in this particular mounting board, we have actually cut a hole right in the middle here, and you go, what's that for? Well, if you flip it over, you're going to see that this is a place where it's designed to be mounted to some sort of flat surface. And you'll see that there's one up here, 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 and here. And so you'll see in our design, in this particular case, we allow you to reach all three of these. See this down here, here, and then over here, along with this. So you can take this, put this on a wall, and then screw that into a wall, and it will mount. Now, if you don't want to put screws in there and mount it to a wall, you can also knock these holes out. You take a screwdriver and you push it in here, and we do have another video in greater detail that explains that, and you can put a band clamp through that, and that's why there's a curved area here. Now, another common question we often receive is, why is there no seal here? My water's going to get in here. Something's wrong with this thing. No. We've sold tens and tens of thousands of these, never had a report of water issues when properly mounted. And that is because if you look on the receiving door here, you'll see that there's a matching piece that fits into this slot. Now, it's not intended to be a perfect fit, but what this does is it provides a location for this to prevent water from getting into here and then going into the enclosure. So there is no gasket for the CG-1500. There never has been, and it is not necessary. Now, that said, you do need to mount it properly. And properly means this is the top of the enclosure. You have to have this going upwards. This is the bottom of the closure. It has the holes in it. We want that facing downward. So when you're mounting it, mount it vertically and you'll have no problems. All right, now on the side here, we have a latch, and that is just a thumb latch, and for the vast majority of people, this is fine. You just press it in, it opens up, you can hear it click closed. If you want to make it a little harder for people to get in, you can use this, and when we do ship these enclosures with assembled controllers in them, we do put packaging material in here, and we do put them in place. So this is a regular 3/8 inch nut driver, and we simply tighten that in. And you can do that for security if you want to keep people from just opening them up, going in your display. Maybe you have a commercial display. So 3/8 inch either nut driver like we have here, or you can use just a regular socket. Now also on the latch here, you'll notice that there are two halves. So there is a hole here, and there's a hole here. And you can put a lock through that and lock that enclosure. So if you want to have the appearance that it's even more secure. Now, granted, this is plastic, and so with some effort you probably could get that apart. Now, also on the front of the unit, you can see that we have utilized one here. We have our Holiday Coros. We have a nice flat area where we can put a sticker. So you can use these areas to put your stickers for things like your IP address or front left bushes or something like that. You can also use the bottom. If sticker stuck here, typically tends to fare better because it's not subject to being damaged or stacking and that type of thing. And also the UV doesn't tend to attack it here because it's facing down. All right, now on the back side, you will also notice that there are little divots here, and those correspond to all the bosses on the reverse side inside the enclosure. So if you're ever trying to build something and you're wondering, when I put that controller in there on that mounting board, is it going to hit one of these? So you're doing something custom, you can flip it upside down, lay it on top, and you can see if it's going to hit any of these. All right, also, you will notice that there's some little lands down here, and they, of course, correspond to the direction that we should be mounting it, this being the top. And this keeps the water from falling into these. So it's basically a little bit of a drip rail on your car equivalent. And it just causes the water to go around to the sides. Now also in that, you'll notice that the top of the enclosure here is shorter. And that's, of course, together with that slot in the top. And then on the back side, we have this flatter portion. And this is also related to shedding water from the unit so it doesn't curl back under and go into the enclosure using surface tension. Okay, hopefully that's helpful and you've learned a few things about the CG-1500.